Welcome to episode 6. My name is Wayne Harrell, and this is going to be, well, it's not going to be another rumbles and rambling episode. It's going to be a normal one because today I have an actual episode. What am I saying? An actual topic to discuss. So I got an early release copy of this book, and today is December 5th when I'm recording this. You might be hearing this, I don't know, like a week or two, maybe 3 weeks from now. I don't know. Like we have like a bunch of podcasts in the buffer. So yeah, it's quite all right. Now, let's talk about this book, which is in another room. So I have to go pick it up. Wait a second. Here I am back from my living room. And I got the book. It's by Pelicans Publishing. It's called Art of Uncertainty: How to Navigate Chance, Ignorance, Risk, and Luck by David Speigelhalter. I'm assuming that's a German name. Oh, he's British. So the reason why I wanted to talk about this book is this book is about managing uncertainty. And you don't have to read this book. Well, first of all, this book is probably going to be out in March in the United States. So yeah, it might take you some time to get your hands on this book. You can probably pre-order it if you want. But this book is all about uncertainty from a statistical point of view, right? So how it affects us, how it affects the society, how it affects things around us. And the guy is, I think, a statistician, and the book is mostly about that. And uncertainty is inevitable. Only thing that is certain is nothing is certain. I think it's a Stoic quote. And managing uncertainty is a skill. I used to have a lot of worries, right? And when you have chronic worries, it can turn into anxiety. And one of the primary causes of worry is intolerance of uncertainty. And that's a big thing, So if you can attune your brain and figure out and train yourself about tolerating uncertainty effectively, you can pretty much beat worries. You can sleep really well. You can probably even manage your anxiety really well. That is why I wanted to talk about this subject. Worries are usually caused by intolerance of uncertainty. And this book helped me navigate a lot of those things from a mathematical point of view, right? Like in The Anxious, we talked about like the thinking in probabilities, managing outcomes, predicting futures, and, doing problem solving using some of our tools, and so on and so forth. And life is full of uncertainties, right? It's just all like it's everywhere. And there are a lot of things that can happen. There's like, you can go out down on, like I'm living in a condo because I live in Bangkok, but you could go down on the street and get hit by a bus. That is one thing that can happen. It's uncertain, right? But it could happen. There's a lot of things that can happen. A lot of things can go right. A lot of things can go wrong. That is the nature of life. That is the nature of reality, right? There are a few things that are kind of certain, but if you drill deep down from a mathematical point of view, they're not really certain either, right? So for example, the second law of thermodynamics, it's all about, entropy always increases, right? Which means like time moves in one direction. But while we think it is certain, it's a probability. It's like highly probable for time to move in forward direction. And because of that, things like that's why, I talk about thinking in probabilities and shit like that. So I'm going to stop rambling about this and let's get back to the topic, right? So the way I was like able to eliminate worry from my life was I was able to figure out a way to effectively manage uncertainty, right? Now, look, uncertainty is always going to be in your life. It's just like, it's certain that there's always going to be uncertainty. And your ability to deal with that is going to define how you feel about worries and anxiety and all that stuff. And, it's just, that's how things work. And that is how CBT works as well. So cognitive behavioral therapy is like, if you can change the way you think about some things, right? Certain things, it will change the way you act. And then it will ultimately change the way you feel, right? So change the way you think about something will change the way you feel about something by altering the way you behave. And, it's kind of like a circle. Now, the big question, how do you manage uncertainty? Well, you can manage uncertainty. Well, everything is uncertain, right? There are a few things that I do. I can tell you what I do to manage uncertainty. Number one, organize your life, right? So that includes starting by cleaning up your house, cleaning up your room. That is a starting point. Then organize your desk, right? If you have like a really cluttery computer, right, but like messy, you might want to clean things up over there as well. Like some people have like crazy desktop with like so many icons here and there, so many folders, files unorganized. You might want to do something about that, right? Because it's kind of like an extension of your, of yourself. That's what our computers are. So do that, right? So start organizing things in your life. And you just start by doing that. And that's going to make you feel a lot better. Then you would want to have a routine. Right now, I'm not saying that you should have like a rigorous routine every day. Start by doing 3 things every single day. Like these 3 things needs to happen. So this could be either workout. This could be either, doing your journal. This could be reading a book. It could be anything, right? But these 3 things needs to be like a constant in your life. So start like, it will just kind of like organize your life, right? It would kind of like help you in later stages as we're going to discuss more strategies. So once you're done doing that, the next step is to train your brain into accepting the fact that certain things are uncertain. Well, most things are uncertain, but if those uncertainties do happen, you have the ability to do something about it. And having that self-confidence would increase your tolerance of uncertainty. And that will make you feel much more peaceful. That will also reduce certain symptoms of anxiety. That would also stop the rumination that goes on in your head, which is also important. When you're starting to ruminate, you just want to stop, break the pattern, and accept, okay, this is getting out of hand. It's uncertain when bad things are going to happen or uncertain things are going to happen. I will deal with it. It's a practice. It will take a long time. It's not going to be easy. It's a habit, and habits are not something that you can develop in one day. You have to practice every single day. So that is how you start. And it's all about developing confidence, about trusting your instincts, trusting yourself that if uncertain things do happen, you have the ability to handle them. And even if you don't, you can have somebody help you navigate those things. Or, sorry, I'm just looking outside my window and it looks like it's probably going to rain, which is odd this time of year. So, oh my God, me and my brain. So, yeah, it's all about developing that self-confidence. right? That you can deal with things if things go wrong. And if you can't, then you can get help from some other people, navigate through those situations. And even if those things are not possible, you're still going to be all right. Everything is going to be all right. Like things are going to be all right. Like it's really rare that you're going to be in a situation where look, you could lose your house in a certain uncertain event, right? You could lose your leg, right? Or your arm in a freak accident. Those are terrible things. But if those things do happen, things are still going to be all right. You're going to learn to live with one arm or one leg. You're going to get that fancy leg. You can probably get like one of those fancy wheelchairs that I always wanted. And I'm not even handicapped. Like the motorized version, it's kind of like having your own like a personal transportation device all over the house. And you can get cut in line everywhere you go. Hey, there's silver lining everywhere. And you can always make the money back. You can always get things things are going to be all right. It's like, yeah. And it's difficult for some people to process that. And that level of tolerance of uncertainty is what is required for us to have a peaceful existence, right? And sometimes, as you're going through these exercises, as you're going through these things, you can have like a shard of doubt in your ability, right? Or anywhere in general, right? Any line of thought. If you have like even a speckle of doubt, of a shard of doubt, it can turn into a whirlwind of worry. And you start ruminating, you start worrying about craziest of things. And it's not really, it's like, it's just going to make things worse. It's just going to make you all stressed out. It's not productive. You won't be able to think really well. And it's just like one of those feelings that you do not really want, right? Now, worries are not like always bad. There are times when they're kind of sort of useful. Like when you're worried about, I don't know, doing your taxes correctly. You can hire like a lawyer or something like that, but you should probably read the whole thing. But once you've done that, you've done everything you could just sign it and file it, right? That's all you could do. It's no use ruminating about, what could go wrong. And even if it does go wrong, you're going to figure something out. You can hire like a good lawyer or a good accountant to help you navigate those things. Or things about your child's performance in school. If you're worried too much, you can, think about, okay, what is it that I can do? And then work yourself towards problem solving. Now, there are two types of worries, right? There is a real event worry, and then there is a hypothetical event worry. And we've talked about this before in earlier episodes. Real event worry is like, something that you can do something about, right? Like it's like a real event. And hypothetical it's far out in the future. It may or may not happen. It's, up there in the air, but you're worried about it, right? So real event worry is like you're worried that you might be late for your flight, right? So you should probably leave as soon as you can. Hypothetical event worry would be you're worried your plane might crash, right? Can happen, but it's like, yeah, it's not going to crash. It's like 1 in a million chance that is going to happen. So unless you're flying Boeing. So, you have to classify, and we have some exercises in the De-Anxious Toolbox where you can figure out if the worry that you're having is a real event worry or is it a hypothetical event worry. First, you have to establish that, right? Most worries are hypothetical event worries, and there's nothing that you can do about it, right? Other than just like worrying about it, right? So it is those things that you have to discard and really kind of go through some exposure therapies to kind of train your brain that, okay, if those things do happen, I have an ability to deal with it. But at this stage, Like I am putting it aside. That is it, right? And it's easier said than done. You kind of have to have the tools to, do these things effectively. There is a girl walking outside my condo wearing a nurse outfit. And I am pretty sure she's not a nurse because it's made of spandex. Well, I live in Bangkok, all right? So the real event worries are like some things that you can do about it. So you create an action plan about, okay, I can do some things about it. I can take action to create an outcome where create a circumstance where the outcome that I want is more likely. And, you do the best you can, and, the best is all you can do. And your worries are going to go away if you do that, right? Now, you're never going to be worry free in life. It's just that you develop a mindset and skill set and have an arsenal of tools to navigate through uncertainties, right? Or at least the thought of uncertainties that might happen. And that is how you deal with uncertainties. Now, of course, this is just a podcast. I'm not going to go in depth about this. There are a lot of things that you can do. There's a lot of tools. There's some exercises. There's a mathematical level stuff that's in this book. And this book is not about psychology. It's, statistics and shit. So I do not recommend that you get this book unless you're really into maths and science. I like to read, so I read everything. But yeah, these are the tools and mindsets that you have to develop. So if you want to get access to some of these tools, or you may want to talk to somebody who could probably help you navigate through this, you might want to go to theanxious.com and enroll in one of our programs, or just get the monthly membership. That would be really helpful. You're going to get a lot more value out of it. I will promise you that. So yeah, that is the topic for today. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in Discord. You can also email me if you have any questions. You can also talk to other people in the community if you have any more questions about it. So yeah, I am back in my house here, and I'm thinking about organizing some kind of a meetup for members. So we're planning on doing that here in Bangkok, or maybe somewhere else. But the weather is really amazing here at this time of the year. So it's a really nice time to be here, because it's not too hot, but it's it's still hot, but it's you can walk outside, I guess. I really like living here, but I would say, I got a few questions from people who are thinking about moving here, and I would recommend that you check out Chiang Mai as well. It's a lot more peaceful. And Bangkok is it's a big city. It's a metro. And it's super busy. And the city has tons of malls, a lot of malls. I've been to more malls here than I could ever count. It's just insane. So yeah, we're going to do a meetup here. Some people said that we should probably do that in Bali. I don't really like Bali anymore. There's a lot of Russians over there. There's nothing wrong with Russians, by the way. It's just there's a lot of Russians over there. Same thing with Phuket, and that's why I don't really go there. And there's nothing wrong with Russians, by the way. It's just I don't speak any Russian. And it's just it's kind of weird, how many Russians and Ukrainians are in some of these cities, in Phuket and Bali, and now they're starting to go in Krabi as well. The population has gone down lately. I'm not sure why. Maybe they've run out of visa or something. So yeah, but I used to see so many of them that some of these vendors and shops have names in Russian. So that was kind of insane. That is not the case here in Bangkok. I do see foreigners here, but I don't really live in place where we have lots of foreigners. Mostly the people here are Thai or, Chinese, but I can't really tell a difference between, people who are Thai and Chinese or Japanese or whatever, unless they talk, because you can tell by the language. But it's kind of cool. I like this city quite a lot because there's everything that you would want. It's here. It's closer to Singapore. which is fantastic, but it's like too expensive of a place to live and a lot less things to do. But you would get like a lot more value for like your money here. And I don't really care about the expense. It's like, there's just like more stuff to do here. English can get like a little bit challenging, but you get used to it. I've been living here for like quite some time now, like a couple of years, probably even more. So I'm used to navigating things around quite well. Eventually, I'm going to move to Seattle. Well, not Seattle, Bellevue in the United States, because they don't really have any income tax over there. And it's beautiful. I don't really want to live in a place that is hot. That's rich coming from me, right? So, yeah, it's going to be cool. What else I wanted to discuss? I got this another book called Great Mental Models, Volume 3. And we're going to talk about it next time and some of these mental models on the next episode. And it's going to be cool. I think the next episode is likely the interview that I did with an expert. I did like a few interviews. So we're just going to have to edit some of those things and, get like a waiver or something like that and then publish. So you're going to see them in your feed very soon. All right. If you have any questions, just let us know and I'll cover that in the Q&A specific podcast next time whenever I'm going to record that one. So, all right. Take it easy. Bye-bye.